State Warriors are the 2015 NBA champions. Their first title in 40 years.
Expect anything different?
We're in the final second. The Chicago Bulls have won the 95-86 NBA championship.
40-15.
The championship points for our operation. That's it! And he's done it. He really has done it.
What most people know about Jackie Robinson is his courageous exploration into the Major League of Baseball. However, stories of his racial encounters are often left untold. Desegregation of the MLB was accomplished through exchange between Jackie and his opponents. From the opponents, hateful words and actions. And from Jackie, silence. The early 1900s were a time of social disorder in the South. Jack Roosevelt Robinson was born in Cairo, Georgia, January of 1919, in the midst of rampant segregation. His family was just like most other black families in the South. Financial struggle, poor education, and frail housing situations were all daily problems in their lives. Fortunately for the Robinsons, sports were a harbor for success, allowing them to permeate the barrier of segregation. Jackie's brother Mac was an Olympic silver medalist in the 200-meter dash, second to only Jesse Owens. Jackie himself excelled in multiple sports in college. Track, basketball, football, and baseball all played a part in Jackie's athletic life. It wasn't until Jackie joined the University of California, Los Angeles, that he was noticed by recruiters around the country. He was the first man to earn 4 varsity letters at UCLA. He was a national long jump champion on the track team. Additionally, his football career flourished in college. Jackie was versatile on the field, playing positions on both offense and defense. A local newspaper even recalled that Jackie's relentlessness to score broke his opponent's spirit. Oddly enough, baseball was not Jackie's strongest sport in college, although he had a great passion for it at the time. Sports at UCLA were not segregated, which allowed Jackie to explore all possibilities without major obstacles. UCLA was a window of opportunity for Jackie, where he excelled in sports and eventually met the love of his life, Rachel Isum, who would later play a vital role in Jackie's endeavors. Unfortunately, Jackie's time at UCLA was short-lived as he left the university during his 4th year. Jackie's mother was still living in poverty despite the successes of her sons in college and the Olympics. Shortly after the beginning of World War II, Jackie enlisted in the Army, knowing that neither sports nor a college degree would guarantee a black man a successful career. He was only in the Army for 2 years, but he learned important values in character, patience, and service, which would help him significantly in his journey in the Major League. However, Jackie encountered racial injustice when a white officer asked him to sit at the back of a bus where supposedly the coloreds belonged, much like an event that would occur with Rosa Parks in 1955. Robinson was subject to court-martial but was released under honorable discharge to prevent any more chaos in the Army. After returning from the military in 1945, Jackie began playing baseball in the Negro Leagues. He was among the best in the league, but the league's disorganization frustrated him, and the segregation policies suppressed the boundaries of his raw talent. Meanwhile, Branch Rickey, manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers, was looking for a man to break the MLB's color barrier, an act that had been tried and failed times before. The values Jackie learned in the Army, as well as his impressive stats in the Negro League, made him the ideal pioneer to confront baseball's color line. The mutual interests of Jackie and Branch Rickey initiated the exploration of a black man into an all-white baseball league. but it didn't come without its complications. Jackie's encounters with racism in the MLB began with his new team. When news arrived that Jackie was to play with the Brooklyn Dodgers for the 1947 season, players like Dixie Walker asked Branch Rickey to be traded. They were among the majority in the league who believed it was untraditional for whites to play ball with blacks. Branch Rickey refused to trade them, and what the team lost in chemistry was made up in Jackie's efforts on the field, starting on opening day. When Jackie stepped out onto the field, he encountered racism from the fans in the crowd and the opponents on the field. Calm and composed, Jackie took his swings and batted a .349 batting average, while also stealing 40 bases, all within his first year. Dixie and others on the team were stunned with Jackie's abilities, but still refused to play with blacks. As the season progressed, Jackie formed bonds with Pee Wee Reese and Eddie Stanky, who encouraged his brave efforts. His teammates, along with his wife Rachel, supplied the moral support he needed to challenge standards day in and day out. On away games, Jackie was forced to stay in hotels separate from his teammates, solely on the basis of his color.
Going to St. Louis on the bus, poor Jack had to go to another hotel. That's pretty hard to live with. Sure he had it, but it never changed his personality or his thoughts about the game. When that game started, that first pitch, he was all ball player and all man.
His seclusion evoked an emotional response from teammates, as some who considered themselves Southerners began fighting for Jackie's rights, because at heart, he was a Dodger, just as the others were. No color or talent could deny that. By mid-season, however, the Dodgers' hopes for a peaceful season were put in jeopardy when traveling across the country for away games. Racism, fueled an intense sporting environment, grew into blatantly offensive lines hurled at Jackie by opposing fans. In places such as Cincinnati and St. Louis, the abuse often included direct threats on Jackie's life. Thankfully, Dodgers all-star shortstop Pee Wee Reese, although a Southerner, stood up for the nervous rookie infielder in a courageous public show of support. This support was soon echoed throughout the Dodgers lineup, with even skeptic Dixie Walker eventually praising Jackie for his ability on the field. This trust between the Dodgers lineup could not have come at a better time. In the 1947 season, no other major league team carried quite as large a reputation as Ben Chapman's Philadelphia Phillies. Chapman was widely seen as baseball's most bigoted manager because of his racist reputation. When the Dodgers played the Phillies, Jackie was not allowed to retaliate to any remarks or actions people threw at him due to his contract. When Jackie asked Branch Rickey if he wanted someone who is afraid to talk back, Branch Rickey responded, saying, "Robinson, I need a ball player with guts enough not to fight back." The game was exemplary of the exchange of insults from the opponents and silence from Jackie that occurred in every game. He ended the game with a stellar batting average of .444 and 2 hits. After 10 years in the major leagues, Jackie retired from his challenging yet successful baseball career. He won Rookie of the Year, MVP, National Batting Champion, and a World Championship with the Dodgers. Jackie became an advocate for civil rights in the political realm, where he hoped future generations of colored people wouldn't have to encounter the inequalities he had to face.
The only thing that we are demanding is that we be allowed to move ahead just like any other American citizen.
Jackie's courage set the example for athletes to break racial barriers in other sports. This has allowed sports to be more representative of natural talent rather than social status and privilege. Today, thanks to Jackie, stars like Steph Curry, Tiger Woods, and Serena Williams are regarded as paragons of their sports among people of all ethnicities. Jackie's exploration of the color barrier in Major League Baseball set an example for colored athletes around the nation. The encounters with teammates and other baseball players were unpleasant initially, but became subdued with the realization of Jackie's talent. The exchange of verbal attacks and Jackie's silence was a test of perseverance that eventually led to the desegregation of sports and reverence for the pioneer who was Jackie Robinson.